If you're out there building the next generation of digital infrastructure, you already know the big challenge, right? How do you actually capture reality with enough detail, enough fidelity to build a true digital twin? I'm Mel Torres. Let's get into what's next for the future of AECO. Today, we're going to dive into the transformative technology that's providing the answer. It's called Mobile LiDAR. Here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the problem, the limits of our old school data. Then we'll jump into the solution, Mobile LiDAR, and see how we turn its raw data into real insights. After that, we'll get practical with a playbook for getting projects done right. And finally, we'll look at how all this comes together to build the future. Let's kick things off with a problem that I'm sure everyone in the AECO space knows all too well. We are all designing, building, and managing these incredibly complex three-dimensional assets. But so often we're stuck trying to do it with 2D tools and data that's frankly out of date. Think about it. How many projects are still running on plans that are completely static, totally disconnected from reality, and pretty much obsolete the second they come off the printer? It's not just inefficient, it's a huge risk. It means rework, wasted money, and it slams the door on doing things in a smarter way. Here's the fundamental shift laid out plain and simple. You look at the old way, traditional field surveys, they're slow. They can be dangerous for the crews out there on the road. And a really key point the NCHRP makes is that the data you get is often just for one single purpose. So what happens? You end up with different teams doing the same work over and over, creating these little pockets of information that don't talk to each other. That old model just doesn't work anymore. It can't keep up. Which brings us to the breakthrough, Mobile LiDAR or MLS. This is a whole new dimension in how we capture data. I mean, this is the tech that lets us lay that perfect foundation for a high fidelity digital twin. We're talking about creating a perfect digital copy of the real world. Here's the kicker. We can do it all at the speed of traffic without ever having to shut down a single lane. Let's get a little technical for a second, but I promise it's cool. According to NCHRP Report 748, which is a big deal for transportation agencies, mobile LiDAR is what's called an active remote sensing method. So it's not just taking a picture. Think of it more like sonar, but with light. It's actively sending out millions of tiny laser pulses, measuring how long they take to bounce back, and using that to build an incredibly precise 3D map of everything around it. All those points together, that's what we call a point cloud. So what's actually making this magic happen? Well, it's like a high-tech orchestra with a few key players. First, you've got the GNSS. That's your GPS on steroids, telling the system exactly where it is on the planet. Then there's the IMU, the inertial measurement unit. This thing is constantly measuring the vehicle's orientation, the roll, pitch, and yaw, hundreds of times a second. And of course, the stars of the show are the 3D laser scanners, the workhorses firing out and catching all those light pulses. And the conductor of this whole symphony? A powerful onboard computer managing this massive flood of data in real time. Now, this is super important. It's not just about hopping in a van and going for a drive. Mobile LiDAR is a serious disciplined geomatics workflow. It all starts with meticulous planning. You got to check satellite coverage, place control points, then you go out for the data acquisition. But the real heavy lifting happens back at the office. That's where you georeference everything, stitching together all that data from the GNSS, the IMU, and the lasers into one perfectly accurate map. And finally, you post-process that giant point cloud to clean it up, classify it, and pull out the features that actually matter. So we've captured this incredible data. We have this massive, beautiful point cloud. But so what? Where's the real power? Well, it's not actually in the points themselves. The true game changer is the incredible value you can get when you realize this is a single reusable data set for your entire organization. This right here, this is the mantra, collect once, use many. It's pulled right from the NCHRP guidelines, and it's the absolute core of the value proposition. The ROI on a LiDAR scan isn't about just one project. It's about how many different teams and how many future projects can tap into that exact same data. That's how you get massive returns. Look at how diverse the applications are. From just one data collection, your engineering team can do detailed surveys. Your asset management folks can build a complete inventory. Your solid BIM team gets perfect as built models to work from, and your safety team can run clearance analyses. The key is everybody is working from the exact same playbook, the same single source of truth. No more arguments about which data is right. But, and this is a big but, is not a one size fits all kind of deal. The NCHRP guidelines are brilliant here. They give us these data collection categories, or DCCS, which is just a smart way to be efficient. You can see here how you tailor the data you collect to what you actually need to do. I mean, you're not going to burn time and money capturing super high accuracy data for a general planning project, right? But for something critical, like a bridge clearance, you absolutely will. It's all about collecting the right data for the job and not a pixel more. We've got this amazing data. Awesome. But now for the $1,000,000 question. How do you actually turn that data into a successful project? This is where we pivot from the cool tech to smart strategy. Let's talk about the digital twin playbook. This quote, it really says it all. It comes from the definitive guide on this stuff developed by Penn State for the Building Smart Alliance. The message is crystal clear. You can't do this alone in a silo. If you have high fidelity data, you absolutely must have a high fidelity plan to go with it. Collaboration isn't just a nice idea here, it's a non-negotiable requirement for success. Here's a really powerful way to think about it. The mobile LiDAR data, that's your digital bedrock. It's the solid, unshakable foundation of reality that you build everything on. But the data alone isn't enough. You need the architect's blueprint, and that is your BIM execution plan. It's the document that spells out exactly what you're building, how it all fits together, and who's responsible for every single piece. The great thing is that Penn State Guide gives us a super clear 4-step framework to follow. Step 1, figure out your goals. What are you actually trying to achieve? Step 2, map out the process. Who does what and in what order? Step 3, and this is crucial, define your information exchanges. Who needs what data and by when? And finally, step 4, lock down your quality control. How are you going to check for errors and make sure everything meets the standard? See, it takes this huge complex idea and makes it a concrete step-by-step plan. So let's zoom out and pull all these pieces together. We're not just talking about one-off projects anymore. What we're really doing is building a totally new, spatially intelligent way to manage our world. And it happens when we integrate this amazing data with a smart process and a shared vision for the future. This is where it all clicks into place. You take the high fidelity data from Mobile LiDAR, you add the structured process from a solid BIM execution plan, and then you plug both of those into powerful modern simulation platforms. That's the trifecta. That's when you unlock the full potential of digital twins. It's what's going to completely transform the AECO industry and create the foundation for truly meaningful, immersive XR experiences. You can see the whole ecosystem right here. At the bottom, you have data capture. That's our LiDAR bedrock. In the middle, you've got planning and management. That's the blueprint, the rules of the game. And at the top, that's where the magic happens, simulation and analysis. That's where you bring it all to life, testing out scenarios, optimizing designs, and actually seeing the future before you even break ground. The whole shebang right there. I'll leave you with one final, and I think really exciting question. As a community of professionals, of innovators, we have the digital bedrock. We have the architect's blueprint. The tools are here, so the only question left for all of us is, what are we going to build with them? If this episode sparked a new idea, share it with a colleague. Make it part of your Monday conversation. Follow for next week's deep dive into the tools and people driving the future of digital twins.